Well, well, well.
What's up, guys?
So, it looks like somebody took everything that I'm a fan of and decided to give it a fucking disease. So, that's just great. Now, the next thing we need to find out is that Tom somehow got some weird alien plague that we don't know about or we've never heard of. That'll be just
Oh,
fucking fantastic.
yeah.
So,
Don't speak it into existence.
well, I could speak it into existence for except, well, for everything except for Tom Brady. So, um, I, uh, today is one of those days where you wake up and you turn on the phone, see what's going on, check out stuff, and everything is just shit. Okay, just shit. Like you open up the web browser and it says in the news today, shit. Coming up, NFL sports news, shit. Politics, shit. Uh, Farming results, shit. Stock market, shit. Okay? So the only way you could actually have something good going on right now is if you were invested literally in shit. And then maybe you would actually have something. So yeah, I'm pissed off and I'm a little annoyed. Okay, a little's just that's not really doing it justice, but very annoyed,
Just a little irritated.
irritated. Yeah. So because
Irritable.
I'm already irritated about the situation to begin with, even before this week, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And now this is just going to drive this mass hysteria, and everyone's going to start acting like fucking lunatics way more than they have been already. You have not seen anything yet, and it's just Jesus, man. Uh, uh, Kill me. It's like that Adam Sandler from Wedding Singer. Somebody kill me, please. Oh, wow. So this is probably the worst intro of all time for this show. How you guys doing? We got Luke here. Trav Burnett. He says, I feel as though I'm being played with. Yeah, I know. See It Twice says, hello, with an echo, as if everyone's dead. Uh, Lord Varsh, not quite the word, but sums it up nicely. See It Twice says, for a while, I wondered if VAS is postponed due to COVID. No, I wasn't postponed due to COVID. I'm invulnerable to the whatever the fuck it is. But I will tell you this:
Knock on wood.
uh, there could have been a postponement for idiocy and just not wanting to get out of bed. I'll tell you that much right now. Um, Nightwalker, what's up, man? Let's see. Andre Late De Silva. I, I, I know I said that wrong. He said, "Damn, this sucks. What a year 2020 has been. 2020 sucks ass." Mr. Automotive, hey, Mr. A is here finally. I was wondering what
Let's
happened to him.
go,
Yeah,
Mr.
exactly.
Automotive.
Mr. A says shit. Okay. King Cobra, what's up, Gabe? Everybody above ground is a good day. Every day above ground is a good day. Um,
Yeah.
it depends on if you're a worm. I mean, if you're a worm, you probably want to stay underground. But let's see. Okay, didn't realize we were going to have so many people to start off tonight. I thought everyone was going to be in hiding now. Um, Thought Stidham was going to get the nod tomorrow. Of course not, because nobody can screw up a freaking opportunity like Jared Stidham. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. My father's here. Hello, Dad. Thank you for being here. Matt Force says, "Who is the pretty lady?" I think that's directed at you, Milena. Unless he thinks I'm a pretty lady, and if that's the case, then I appreciate it. Thank you. So
Hi, Matt. Thank you. Shaq's here.
there's Shaq. I thought he disappeared on me. Let's see. Mr. A says, I'm guessing Brian Hoyer called Tom Brady's cell phone and said, hey, I'm starting Tuesday night. Oh, I'm adding this to the thing. Matt Forrest has the greatest comment of the night so far. He says, at Nefertiti, he says, now I'm embarrassed. I wouldn't assume anyone's gender.
Well, I hope people assume mine at least. No, I can't speak for the others, so.
Okay, that's funny.
You're good.
I like that. That was good. Yeah, we wouldn't want to insult anybody. We wouldn't want to start any problems. You know, we wouldn't want to get canceled by the people at the little college interns at YouTube who are delivering Starbucks and stuff. So. All right. Shaq, how dare you? I would never miss that reason. Oh, I thought your reason was something else. Trust me. So, I'm glad to see everything's good. So, okay, Daniel's pronouns are he, him, and attack helicopter. I prefer to be related to as attack helicopter or bee sting or wasp. Any one of those is fine with me. So. Shaq says, well, the good news is that with the Pats game being postponed, we can give our full attention to the Bucs. Yeah, but they weren't at the same time. So, yeah, I think you might mean tonight. But the deal is, as if you guys haven't heard, and for anyone kind of just passing by right now, Cam Newton is sick, I think. Well, I don't want to really call it sick. He's tested positive for something, but that being the same as sick, I really not sure if those are the same thing at all. But the point is, he can't play, and now they're postponing the game, the Patriots-Chiefs game. And as if we weren't going to have a big enough problem already dealing with what looks like the unstoppable Kansas City Chiefs, now we're going to be left with Brian Hoyer.
Wow. Well,
Brian
it all depends, no?
Hoyer.
Depends if Cam is okay.
Hoyer. Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer. Yes. The guy who sucked so bad he couldn't keep the starting job in Cleveland. I'll repeat. The guy who sucked so bad that he could not hold on to the starting quarterback job in Cleveland. Cleveland, you know, the team that's had like 135 quarterbacks since the turn of the century. That Cleveland. Which leads me to Jarrett Stidham. How could you suck so bad? All right? Now listen, I like this kid. I was pulling for him. I thought he was going to be the Brady, the one who fills in for Brady, not take over for Brady. Nobody can take over for Brady, but they can at least attempt it. I thought he was the chosen one for a while. And then all of a sudden he gets this mysterious hip injury. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out what that injury could possibly be. How bad can your hip be? I'll be honest with you. If I was him right now with Cam Newton going out, I would have been shooting that thing full of whatever I could find to get on the field. But apparently he has not been doing well because he's been inactive all season. But whatever his excuses are, part of making it in the NFL is not being hurt. And I know I probably sound like a dick saying, oh, you know, some people can't help getting hurt. Yeah, you can. Okay? Yeah, you can. You can do things to increase your durability and prevent situations. You can be smart. You can know when to get rid of the football before getting hit. You can train better. So when you go to practice, you're not taking hits from your teammates that are unnecessary and stupid shit like that. You can control those things. So many people want to say about other quarterbacks, quarterbacks that retire, like Tony Romo, for example. He wants to say, oh, if I wasn't injured, I could have had a great long career like Tom Brady and all them. And I'm like, dude, you couldn't stay on the field. That's part of it. All right? If it was just about not being healthy, or just about if you didn't have to deal with that, then there's a lot of guys I'd say their careers would have gone differently. I mean, we could talk about that all day long. That's part of it. You know what? If Mario Lemieux didn't get cancer in the 1990s, he would be considered the great one and not Wayne Gretzky. All right? So what could have happened and what did happen and what really happened, and those are all things that we kind of have to look at. So Jarrett Stidham, whatever your excuse is, you blew it. You blew it. Brian Hoyer is now going to be playing instead of you. Jesus. Wow.
Nice.
Oh, God. This is the saddest text so far I think we're going to get tonight. John Thomas Chavez tries to salvage the situation by saying, well, Hoyer did get the Texans to the playoffs in 2015. Well, you know what? I appreciate John's, positivity. Well, Shaq, that's what I'm talking about. The hip injury during the summer. How do you get a hip injury in the summer? Explain this to me. Someone, please tell me how you are a professional athlete. You're a quarterback, so it's not like you're doing some crazy stuff in the offseason. How do you end up with a hip injury? Okay? Yeah, I get it. I would know how my dad would end up with a hip injury. Okay? But how does Jarrett Stidham end up with a hip injury without being touched? And isn't that the real question here that we should be asking? Fucking idiot. Not you, Shaq. I mean Jarrett Stidham. Sorry. Pliability, baby. Hell yeah. Matt, yes. While I believe that Mario Lemieux is the greatest hockey player to ever play, what I was saying is that he will never be considered the greatest because he got cancer. And that kept him from getting the numbers or getting close to the numbers that he would need. But had that not happened, so shit happens, and now Wayne Gretzky is still the greatest of all time, or considered the greatest, but I still believe Mario Lemieux is the greatest player I've ever seen in my life. And I don't think anybody in this section or watching this can tell me otherwise. You'd have to have a really good argument to convince me. So now, Michael Stiller says he could have hung out with Cam and be positive, and then we have to play Bill. I'm sure Brady is so awesome that he could just play for the Bucs, and then on like Monday or Tuesday night could fly out and play for the Patriots. I'm sure he wouldn't mind doing that. So let's see here. Matt Fours, he was banging broads too hard.
That will do it.
Joe Stalica, what's your take on Josh Allen? Very confused right now on Josh Allen. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Personally, I mean, I like him. I even though I'm a Pats fan, I root for I root for him, and I like the Bills as long as it doesn't interfere with us. But I do like seeing the Bills do good. I like seeing their fans happy and excited. Um, I'm kind of one of those people who, when a team has been bad for so long, I kind of want to see them do better. Like I like seeing the Raiders get a win. I like seeing the Browns win, and the Bills are kind of like that. Although they haven't been as trashy, but they haven't been that great either. So, but as far as Josh as a quarterback, dude, he misses some throws that are just wide open that a high schooler would have hit, and he's got to fix that. He's a great scrambler, great at knowing when to run. Very hard to take down. He's just got to get more precise, and that'll come. So yeah, I think he's a good quarterback. I think he'll be a good quarterback. Not a great one. He's not your new Jim Kelly or anything like that. But he certainly is better than what you've had in a while. I'll tell you that much. And at least there's enthusiasm there. So John Thomas Shove has the first super chat of the night. He says, in my defense, I wasn't being delusional or claiming that New England would beat Kansas City with Hoyer. Just pointed out that he's a capable enough backup. Oh, I know, John. I know. I knew that's what you're doing. I just didn't know what to say, honestly, because I was just thinking, man, 2015 really feels like a long time ago all of a sudden. It didn't before, but then when I read your tweet read your comment, and I thought, damn, it really was a long time ago. I used to talk about 2015 like it was no big deal, you know? And then it just seems so far away. Yeah. Let's see. Bobby Orr, it's hard to give the nod to a defensive player, you know? Um, when you're up against guys who just take the game over. A defensive player can only, even though they're great, they can only do so much compared. It's like trying to compare, well, in football, a quarterback is going to get the nod, and a center or a very high-scoring winger is going to get the attention and going to get that title more so than a defensive player would. But yeah, Bobby Orr was awesome. Shaq, $10 super chat. Shaq. Thank you, man. He says, by the way, Pats are now slated to play the Chiefs on Tuesday, which would give them only 4 days to prepare for the Broncos, and the Chiefs would have to play 3 games in 9 days. Great job, NFL. I like that. That's good. Yeah. That's if they, well, we'll see. Because they originally tried to the Pittsburgh Titans game, which has also been delayed. They originally were talking about doing it on a Tuesday. And all of a sudden, it's been postponed for weeks and weeks, right? So, honestly, guys, I seriously doubt they're going to try to squeeze this Patriots-Chiefs game in on Tuesday, especially because of what Shaq just said. I don't know where they'll fit it in. I don't think, do the Patriots have, and the Chiefs, do they have the same bye week? I don't think they do. Now, if they did, that'd be pretty damn convenient, wouldn't it? So, good point. Here, Bills have a winning record since they changed owners. That is absolutely a good point. The Pagulas, they bought the team, and they seem to be at least willing to do what it takes to win, or at least knowing when to back off and when to be involved. You got to find, as an owner, you got to find a balance there. They own the Buffalo Sabres as well. So at least they had some experience owning a football team before they bought the Bills. Or they had experience owning a sports team before they bought the Bills. Some of these guys, they buy teams and they've never ran any kind of organization or ever owned any kind of sports organization. They think just because they were good in business that it automatically translates to, oh, I can buy a football team and I'll run that good because I did good in the lumber industry or whatever the hell it is, right? It doesn't always mean that. So sometimes it's good to bring some experience from already working on another sport. But yeah, good point. Yeah, John. If they can switch both teams' bye weeks, I think that would make more sense. If that can be arranged somehow. Because by doing that, whoever their opponent was on that other week that you're trying to fit in, if they don't have the same bye weeks, then whatever bye week they choose to put the game, that other team's opponent will now have to be maneuvered as well. It's going to be really complicated, but Pedro. Yeah, Shaq, 2015 seems like a decade ago. I agree. Pedro says, as of today, we are christening Brian Hoyer as Hoyer the interception thrower. Spread the word, Aaron. God, I hope not. I have nothing against Brian Hoyer, by the way. It's just mainly frustrating that Jarrett Stidham is in the position he's in. I'll tell you something about Brian Hoyer. Do you guys remember when Tom hurt his hand? Do you remember before the Jacksonville game, the AFC Championship game in 2017? And they were wondering if he was going to play or not because he had ripped his hand open on top of Rex Burkhead's helmet or something like that. I don't know if it was his helmet, but it was somewhere like that. But anyway, he got hurt in practice. Everyone remembers the huge cut. His whole hand was cut, right? They walked up to Brian Hoyer and asked him if there was a chance in him playing. And Brian said, I hope not. The Patriots' chances are better if I don't. Okay. All right. The point here is, yeah, he's right. Okay? He's right. You don't want Brian Hoyer playing against the Jaguars in the AFC Championship game. Even a hurt Tom Brady is better than Brian Hoyer. But the point here is it mainly speaks to his mentality. He knows what he is. And he's not afraid to admit it. He's the guy that comes in when your quarterbacks have been knocked out and you have nothing left in the game. He's not a guy you want to go into the week with. He's also the kind of backup. There's two types of backups. There's a backup that is waiting to get a chance to take over the starting job. Then there's the kind of backup that is a career backup, and his job is mainly as a guy on the sidelines, as like another coach, a guy in practice that you can count on to know the plays, to get everybody going, to study film, to know and simulate what the opposing quarterback may bring. That's the kind of backup Brian Hoyer is now. Now, at one time, I'm sure he had aspirations to be a starter and all that, and he did get to do that. But now, that's not who he is. So, just remember that.
Well, what's the point? I mean, what's the point of having him?
What's the point of having him? Well, that's what I'm saying. He's the type of guy who is great in practice. All right? He knows the plays. He keeps people together. He keeps the team going. Listen, there's a lot of usefulness for him on the team. But in this situation, this is the time that you want Jarrett Stidham ready to go. And we don't have him ready to go. And I'm just saying that is a real pain in the ass and very unfortunate for Jarrett because he's missing his chance right now.
So we need
like
another backup.
for example, when we played the Rams in 2018, it was Brian Hoyer who discovered what the Rams offense was about and how they were still using very similar concepts that he had used when he was in Cleveland with some of the personnel that was on now the Rams, and he picked up on it. And then he reported it to Bill Belichick. And this, of course, led to that holding the Rams to 3 points in the Super Bowl. That's what Brian gives you. That is the kind of backup he is. He is an information gatherer. He is a film study guy. He is a actor almost. Like in practice, there's certain backups, so your job is to be an actor. And what that means is you go out there and you simulate, okay, this week you pretend to be Patrick Mahomes. So you run around in practice throwing crazy shit all over the field that's unpredictable. The next week you may want to pretend like you're Matt Ryan if they're playing, and then you try to, and then Hoyer's job is to study all week before about Matt Ryan's cadences and how Matt Ryan moves and how Matt Ryan acts at the line, and then Brian's job is to emulate that. We had a backup back in 2003 named Damon Heward. I don't know if you guys remember him, but career backup, and he was a backup for Tom Brady at this time. We were about to go play the Colts. His job was to be Peyton Manning, and he had it down. He studied everything about Peyton Manning. So when he was out there, he sounded just like him. He was all like, Omaha, all that crap, right? Even did his accent sounded exactly like him. What was even weird is that he actually kind of looked like him too. But the point is that Damon Heward replicated Peyton Manning that whole week in practice. And so when the Patriots ended up playing the Colts, the defense was like, oh, we were ready for this because Damon Heward did such a good job at replicating it. And that's what Brian is. That's what Brian offers. But Brian is not the kind of quarterback that you're expected to go in and take over for Cam Newton. That is Jarrett Stidham's job. That's what Jarrett was for. Brian was kept, as those reasons I'm saying, but Jarrett was there to be the guy that you could count on to play the game and win the game. And now he's not there. And that's my point, is that he has pissed away a good opportunity. I don't care. I want to know how he got his hip injured, honestly, because I just think that's inexcusable. And to be quite honest with you, based on what I've seen over the last 2 months, I don't think Belichick's very happy about it either. It's not just me picking on this guy, okay? I've seen the coaches be very unhappy with certain injuries on players, a lot of times because they think that those injuries could have been avoided. So it's not just me being a dick.
Hey, another super chat. Raphael.
$5 super chat from Raphael. He says, that's why you're the king of football knowledge, bro. You explain backup positions best. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. There's a lot of hidden things on teams that people don't get and that people don't understand about certain jobs. Everyone assumes that, oh, you're a backup quarterback. That means that you can just step in. Well, it depends on what kind of guy you are. The same thing for other positions, too. They do the same thing. So, oh, shit. Ravens number 52, Ray Lewis, says, we got murdered. For those of you, some of you, who's the first one to catch the irony in that statement? Come on. Come on. Who's first? Type as fast as you can. Milena, I know you're not going to get this one. This is way too before your time, before you started watching football. But let's see who gets it.
Okay.
Come on. Weak. There we go. Oh, okay, there they go. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Milena, what that's referred to is that back in 2000, I think, there was a Super Bowl party, a Super Bowl weekend party, and Ray Lewis, the icon that he has there, was involved, was accused of being involved in a double murder, double homicide. And there was even a bloody suit found in his vehicle, or I think it's kind of like that. I don't remember exactly, but no knife, no murder weapon or whatever. And then he ended up making a plea deal to get out of it. Ended up paying the families of the murdered guys, but somehow is innocent. I don't know how that works exactly, but I just found it ironic that Ravens 52 Ray Lewis wrote, "We got murdered." So that's a little on the nose there, and I just kind of playing the game to see who would get it first. But he even said he got it the moment he pressed send. He was like, "Oh no, why did I send that?" So God, Pat's had a Heward on. You guys are ridiculous. All right. Look. The redcoat's here. He says, "Not guilty." Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Now, the other day when the redcoat called, right when he hung up, I had something I was going to tell him, and I completely forgot. But redcoat, since you were in the Navy, I know you'll appreciate this. Yeah, so he was in the. For those of you who don't know, he was in the Royal Navy, Jason Patrick Saunders, and my dad was in the Navy, and he served on an aircraft carrier. And so Jason, my dad found an old film of him on an aircraft carrier when Richard Nixon came to visit them. And we found my dad in the film. And I thought that you might be interested in seeing that because the last time you were here, we talked a lot about it, a lot about the Navy and aircraft carriers and stuff like that. So I want to show that to you when you get a chance. Shaq says, Ray Lewis is the first murderer to get a statue made for him. Shaq, don't you know anything? Not guilty. Listen, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. That's how it works, apparently. Mickey, are you back yet? Let me know, okay? Mr. He says Johnny Cochran, the lawyer. Oh. Yeah, you can't be in here with that.
Oh.
Does OJ have a statue? I don't know. If he did have one, it's certainly gone now. Let's see here. I don't know. I do remember OJ being pushed off a ledge in a wheelchair in the Naked Gun movie. Don't remember which one. I think it was Naked Gun 2.5. Oh yeah, Ray, exactly. That you're right. That Broncos Bucks game, absolutely. There was a lot of points not, a lot of points left on the board. Um, should have. Yeah. 25 years ago. Wow. Oh, yeah. Jalen's right. OJ does have a bust in the Hall of Fame. But, I mean, you can't really take it out, can you? Because he is not a murderer. That's how it works. So. Pedro says, I feel that the Bucs are holding back their true offensive capabilities. Once they get a comfortable lead, it's almost like they sit back and cruise through the game. What do you think, Aaron? No, I think what happened was is that they were trying different things. So they, because remember, there was no preseason. So once they got a big lead, they probably were saying, let's try this and this. Not, and I'm not talking about trying things that are crazy or just variations of things, and that may have led to that. So, but I agree. It would have been nice to see some more points scored after that. Hernandez does not have a statue. Well, thank God. I hope not. Fun fact, O.J. Simpson was selected to the NFL 100 all-time team this year. Well, yeah, and I guess technically it has nothing to do with football, right? So, actually, I'm not even sure O.J. did it. I think from everything I've ever researched, and I was really obsessed with it a while back. Um, I think it's more likely that he was around and involved, but I think his son probably did it based off of everything that it shows. His son makes more sense actually, but he got away with it. So yeah, Josh, exactly. In that Broncos Bucs game, Brady threw a pass almost 60 yards to Scotty Miller, and that proves right there that Tom can still throw the deep ball. We've seen him throw farther than that already this year. It wasn't complete. They were just, either him chunking it down the field just to see what happens or whatever. But we know he can do that, and we saw him do it last year too. John Thomas, has anyone read the James Patterson book on Aaron Hernandez? No, I have not. What a waste, though, huh? What a waste. Him and Gronk, if they could have stayed together, could you imagine? That's just what an incredible pairing. Daniel says, I saw this stuff on his son. I think OJ did it. If I did, it was a confession. What kind of person does that? What kind of person releases the book? I mean, let's say you were innocent. Would you want to do that? I mean, or even if you were guilty, would you do that? Like, what kind of idiot does that? That releases a book like that? But so basically, if the Patriots Chiefs game happens this week, nothing changes as far as the strategy. If you're going to attack the Chiefs, you've got to suppress their offense and attack their defense. And I know that's very simplistic, and that's like a Booger McFarland response, but it's true. The Chiefs offense scores on every freaking drive. It's ridiculous. They just throw it randomly around the field, and somehow Tyreek Hill is always open. He's always there. He's always available. And it's very, very obnoxious to watch if you're the fan of the other team. So, can the Patriots defend that? Well, it's not about defending it completely. Nobody can defend it completely. It's about how many times are you going to allow it to happen. If you allow it to happen once or twice, then maybe you can win. If you allow it to happen over and over and over again, because it's not just Tyreek Hill out there that can do that. I watched that, what's that guy named? Nicole Hardman or whatever his name is, running around like, I mean, it's like, do they have like a never-ending supply of these guys that run like Tyreek Hill? It's crazy. Watching a Bucs game is now like seeing your ex-wife on TV. Is it? I don't feel that actually. I don't feel that. I enjoy the Brady games. I enjoy the Bucs games. So I mean, it sucks, but yeah. But if Tom had remained on the Patriots, what would it look like right now? You know, he'd still be yelling at these receivers because they're idiots, and these receivers aren't doing any better than they did last year. They still don't know how to run routes. They still don't know how to get separation. And Edelman is the only one out there who's working, and he's going to get banged up again. And by week 8, Edelman is going to, his body is going to be as if he had played 40 games. And it would have been the same old thing. Tom would have been pissed, would have been yelling at them because they're idiots, because Bill Belichick cannot draft wide receivers. I repeat, Bill Belichick cannot draft wide receivers. He's shit at it. He's always been shit at it. And apparently he can't trade for them either. Mohamed Sanu, what a waste. A second rounder for that piece of crap. So basically, it's just about, well, with Cam, the strategy would have been much more doable, which is run the ball. Oh, they've been running the ball well, or they did last week anyway. Sony Michel actually ran in positive yardage. That was encouraging. It's nice to see him get more than just negative yardage all the time, but you could have applied that. Cam can get you a first down. If you need like 1st and 5, third and 5. If you need that, you can count on Cam to get that, and you just keep it going. You keep it going. It's slow. Be very slow out there. Take your sweet ass time. If you need to go 100 yards, you take forever to do that. And that was hoping for a lot. But now you don't even have that. So you don't have that guy that can get you that 3rd and 5 and get the first down off of a 3rd and 5. But I don't think the game's going to be played. They moved the Raiders and Titans game. Why wouldn't they move this one too? So Mr. Hay, you mean Muhammad slow and he knew? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. So we can keep talking about a game that might or might not be played. Doubtful. But let's talk about Bucs and Chargers. So there will be fans. I think the number was around 16,000. So that's pretty cool. We know that I said the Ravens. Okay. I meant Steelers and Titans, of course. But there will be 16,000 some odd fans there. Tom does love the energy of the crowd. You know that. He likes to do his let's go and all that. And Buccaneers fans are going to experience tomorrow what we as Pats fans experienced, which is Tom Brady running across the field, screaming, let's go, like a maniac. And I'm kind of excited for the Bucs fans. There's nothing like that, man. It's I got to experience it. I was lucky enough to get to experience it thanks to the guys in Legion last year. And Tom runs right across the field and he looks up in the stands and he yells, let's go. Dude, the energy, there's nothing like it. It is freaking awesome. And now these Bucs fans are going to get to feel that. They've never had that, okay? They have never had this. And that's cool. So, good for them. Yeah, the other day I had heard a rumor that the Patriots were trying to trade for Julio Jones, and I made a joke and I said, "Can we just trade for Matt Ryan instead?" And okay, I guess sometimes my jokes don't come across, or I don't put enough emphasis on them to make them look like they're a joke, but. I'm a big fan of Matt Ryan. I thought everyone knew that. Putting Matt in New England would be the closest thing right now that you could get to a younger version of Tom, someone who is similar to how Tom works and how he thinks. And it's not quite Tom, obviously, but it's very similar. But I just don't think Julio Jones being on the Patriots is going to fix anything. But they do have the cap room, so they have around $27 million. Julio's cap hit, I think, is around $20 million to $22 million. The guy is awesome, probably the best wide receiver in the league right now. But this rumor keeps coming up every week. It's come up. I've heard it for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. Every week someone mentions it and it keeps coming through. It keeps coming through the pipeline. Don't know why. Really, usually when things like this happen, it's because a phone call was made. A phone call was made, an inquiry. But before we all get excited, I just want to say that this is what the Patriots do. They have an entire team of people who do nothing but make phone calls around the league inquiring about other players. Just all the time. They just constantly do that. Even if they don't have a need for it, they just constantly do that. They're always trying to get info. If you call up and say, hey, would you be interested in trading X player? What's his deal? And they start telling you stuff and they give you this and that, gives you an idea of what you're looking for. You may not even be really wanting to trade for that person. You may be wanting just to find out if that team was willing to move that person. Because maybe you have a suspicion that your opponent or someone that you're going to be going up against soon might be looking for that, and you might want to cock block that somehow. So there's a million reasons why you would do that, but I don't put much into thinking that that's actually going to happen. But yeah, would it be cool to have Julio Jones? Yeah, it'd be cool. But what happens next year when the coronavirus list guys are not on are back on the team, and then we're back to nothing, and somebody's got to go. So that'll be hell to pay, wouldn't it? Let's see. Josh says the Chargers have fans. Didn't even know that. I thought they didn't have fans. I don't know. The Chargers didn't have fans since they've got there in LA. Nobody cares about them. Nobody, dude, I'm telling you, trust me, nobody knows that the Chargers are there. They don't even care. They barely care that the Rams are there, and they were in the Super Bowl just recently. It's just a couple of years ago. Let's see here. Yeah, spring football that doesn't fail after 8 weeks or even less. Dude, another football team is just not going to work. Or a football league is not going to work. It's just not. They always fail, and they will keep failing. It will never work. Dark Minuteman, when I made that joke about Cam Newton, though, that was before all this happened. It was from earlier in the week, before we knew anything. Now it's like, hey, hey, would you send us Matt Ryan? We'll send you our COVID positive quarterback. Would you do that? Thank you. So. Well, regarding the Falcons head coach, Dan Quinn, it's kind of a weird situation for the owner, Arthur Blank, because on the one hand, you have a guy, a coach, that finally got you to the Super Bowl and got you back into like a winning culture. And he hadn't had that since Michael Vick was in, pre-Michael Vick dogfighting. Before all that, he lost Vick then. And then they had some coaching that wasn't too bad, but it was still kind of very inconsistent from year to year. So for Arthur Blank right now with Dan Quinn, he has done good, and even this year he can get leads on teams. That's good. That's positive. But you just fall apart at the end. And so you've got Arthur Blank in this position of what to do. If you fire him, then based on history, the odds that they don't even win another game the rest of the season are pretty damn high. And then they just absolutely suck. It's...
You absolutely suck.
Or...
You absolutely suck.
They...
You absolutely
keep him.
Suck.
They keep him. And see if he can work out this problem where they keep losing leads. So... they're actually not a bad team. That's what's so sad about it, is that they're not that far off. They just keep losing it at the end. So, I don't know. I don't see Dan Quinn getting fired this year. I just don't. So, and to be quite honest with you, I actually like the guy. I think he seems like a very good dude. After he lost what was probably the hardest Super Bowl to lose in NFL history, he was very respectful. He's always been respectful. He didn't talk crap about the Pats and all that. So he just seems like a nice guy. And I know that's not enough to keep a coach, okay? I'm not saying that. It's not a popularity contest. It's about results. But still, I hope he can get that fixed. And plus, a good Falcons team could be very interesting with that division. So, no, the 28-3 was not Matt Ryan's fault. What really happened? This is the thing. Ever since that happened, what have we heard? Oh, the Falcons, they crumbled. They've fallen apart. No. Okay, I've seen this game. I've rewatched it. I can't even tell you how many times. It was Patriots forcing the issue. Okay? And everybody I can see, and there's videos on YouTube about the NFL being rigged because of the Falcons game plan and their decision making at the end that led to the Patriots getting the ball the final time at the end in the fourth quarter. Well, that sequence of events, because they were saying all you had to do was run the ball and then kick it. If you watch those sequence of events, the only mistake they made was the first down call. Well, it wasn't really a mistake. It was the right call. It's just the results of the call was bad. But the moment that the results of the first play wasn't what they were wanting, that altered everything. It just changed everything. And then you have the next call is based off the previous one, and then so on. It's a step-by-step process. It is not a one-shot deal. It is not a it's not a whole group of things. It's one play per play, and then that play, whatever the result of that play, equals to the next one. It's very similar to the Seahawks not running Marshawn Lynch and them throwing at the 1 yard line. While I admit I would have ran Marshawn Lynch no matter what. And I was in awe that they didn't hand it off to him. I see the explanation on what they were thinking. And when you're thinking that fast, and they were looking at a 4-down situation or a 3-down situation. They didn't have much time, but they were looking at multiple down situation. They had the luxury of that. Because if a pass was incomplete, the clock stops. It's all good. They're fine, right? If it's not incomplete, well, it's a touchdown. Obviously, where they weren't expecting a pick. So if you go back and look at the sequence of events and then their thinking strategy, in the moment, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as it seems. And the Falcons were very similar. One play dictates the next play. For the Seahawks, had that just harmlessly gone down and been batted down, and it was just an incomplete pass, the very next play was going to be Marshawn Lynch. That was the very next play. So I don't agree with it, but I can see the thinking process. But the Falcons were very similar in that situation, but not as egregious as what the Seahawks did. What the Falcons did wasn't that crazy. They were moving the ball. They had been all season long. They were moving the ball. Their offense was just unstoppable. Julio Jones has just made a catch for the ages. It seemed like they were just doing what they do, and Kyle Shanahan was confident in his guys. And I mean, my God, look, even when Matt Ryan took that sack, and they knocked him out of field goal range. Matt could have been really stupid. He could have thrown the ball up for grabs to avoid the sack. It could have been picked, and then that would be a pick six, right? At least taking the sack doesn't guarantee them a score. So it still left the Patriots having to go all the way down the field in order to tie the game. So we can nitpick all day, but Matt Ryan is not to blame for the 28-3, and he is certainly not to blame for the Falcons' missteps right now. So he's a great player, great quarterback. Does he take some blame? Yeah, of course. You're the quarterback. You get the glory, you get the blame too, but not all of the blame. It's not as if you would want to get rid of him and say, "Oh, we can fix the problem." That would just be stupid. So, well, no, that's not true either. The whole if the Falcons could have won the Super Bowl if they kneeled on every down, it depends. At what point? At what point would they have to start kneeling? That's weird. I don't understand how that would work. I would really have to look into that, because first of all, if you committed to that sequence of events, you started kneeling on purpose every down, and the defense knows that that's what you're doing now, they're going to bull rush the line. There's no guarantee that somebody doesn't come across that line to dislodge the ball. How I know that? Well, because I've seen games where they were kneeling to run the clock out at the end of the game, and somebody comes across the line and actually gets there in time in order to stop that from happening, and then they recover. So, and that's when they're not expecting it, of course. But imagine if the defense knew that that was coming. So I don't know about that. Just don't know about that. Because then you're talking about kneeling on all four downs, or all. I mean, wait. I'm assuming you mean 3 downs. So you would kneel on 3 and then punt. Things can go wrong there too. I don't know. I don't know. I would need to watch that video, I guess, and see what they're saying, because it would depend on when they started that. I mean, kneeling, you go backwards, constantly go backwards. That might end up actually helping New England, making it easier for them. So, I don't know. I don't know about that. They got it from someone that did a Madden simulation? Huh. Well, there it is. It's done. I mean, somebody did it on a Madden simulation. That's it. That's all you needed to hear, right? Guys, give me one moment. Do not leave, please. I'll be back in literally 90 seconds. Okay? I'll be right back. You guys are 7 of y'all left. Told you not to leave. Okay. Madden simulation. Daniel, he says Madden simulation was Colin Kaepernick the quarterback. Probably, because this is a complete stupid fantasy. But yeah. Yeah, I like Luke's comment here. Even if it were possible, it's irrelevant. No team would be that arrogant. Let me ask you guys something. now that the Patriots aren't playing tomorrow, that means that the Bucs Chargers game is the only game for the day as far as the Patriots fan base is concerned. Me and Shaq do a post game every Sunday. Do you want to do the post game after the Bucs Chargers game, which would be around 2 Eastern, 1:30 2 o'clock Eastern, or do you want to do it after the second group of games at around? Well, no. I'm sorry. Eastern time, the game started at 1. I'm thinking, I'm still in LA in my head. So the Bucs Chargers game would be around 1:15 over at 4:30ish. We can do the post game then, or we can do the post game at the second group after the second group of games. Just let me know. Normally we would have done it after the Pats game, but now there is no Pats game. So after the Bucs, okay. You hear that, Shaq? So yeah. Okay, so I am. You guys want to make some picks? Let's look at the schedule here. And of course, I know I joke and kid sometimes and take shots about COVID and stuff like that. But seriously, though, I hope Cam is okay. I hope he's doing good, and I hope everybody involved with the Titans as well, and any other players and any other members in the NFL who are sick. I hope they are doing okay, and I also hope that our president is doing well, and the First Lady. I also understand that members of his staff, not just him and not just the First Lady, but other members of the staff also may have been COVID positive. So hope everybody's doing okay, and hope you guys are doing well as well. So, okay. So, first slate of games, we've got the Ravens, who just took an ass kicking by the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, man. That game was hard to watch. Okay. So, I thought that game was going to be like a Titanic matchup, and it just did not live up to the hype. And I don't know what the deal is, but Lamar Jackson can just not beat Patrick Mahomes. Apparently, only the GOAT can beat Patrick Mahomes. So, I was pulling for the Ravens in that one. I think I was. Lamar Jackson is very likable as long as he's not with his teammates. Well, some of his teammates are very obnoxious, but when Lamar talks by himself, he's very, very cool dude. Very, very nice guy, very humble. I like him. I like how he seemed to make himself better. People made fun of him. His first year he was starting and said that he was just a running back. So then over the summer he worked on his passing, came back and said, "Oh yeah, look at me now, I'm MVP." I love people who do things like that. And of course the Chiefs are very arrogant. I like confidence in a team, but I don't like arrogance. And the Chiefs are so arrogant that they posted a picture of Patrick Mahomes in the sky, in the clouds like this, as if he was the Messiah, as if he was Jesus Christ. It was awful, okay? Now, it wasn't Patrick that did it. He didn't pose for something like that. What they did is they took one of those let's get hyped up videos from when you're there live and they have it on the screen and you're trying to get the crowd hyped up. They took a screenshot from him doing that, making him look like he had his arms up. And then they put him in the clouds. But it's still very arrogant. And they think, the Chiefs right now think that, they think because they saw the Patriots win so much that it's easy. They just assumed, well, we won the Super Bowl and we're a really good team. That means that we're the new dynasty. They have no idea how hard that is. And I just don't like that kind of arrogance. So, But the Ravens are playing the DC Criminals. So that one's easy. Sorry, Jalen, but your team is going to get beat down this weekend. The Ravens are coming for blood. They're coming for revenge. They are not happy about being made to look foolish on Monday Night Football in front of the whole country. So, well, in front of some of the country, I should say. Their ratings are shit right now, but yeah, they're not happy about it. The Ravens are going to annihilate the DC politicians, DC criminals, same thing. So, Chargers at Bucs. Of course, I've got Bucs. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a pretty damn good game, actually. I like the Chargers right now. I know they're 1-2, but I think they're a pretty damn good team. So, but the Bucs will win that by a touchdown. Big trust, big trust. Yeah, Ray, things just went to shit very early. Some random Patriots fan says, quiz, only one team has beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. What is the name of this team? That is the New England Patriots, and that is the GOAT, Tom Brady. What's up, what's up? And you know what? What if it ends up being like that again? What if the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl against the Bucs, and the Bucs make it to the Super Bowl, and the GOAT beats him? Oh man, I think at that point Patrick Mahomes might take up that guy's offer. What was that comedian's name? Steve Harvey. Damn, name's just falling out of my head. When Steve Harvey said, "Have you guys not thought about putting your money together and having Tom Brady killed?" And if you remember, they showed Mahomes, and he was like, Yeah, well, if Brady beats him in the Super Bowl, he probably will literally do that. So, but the NFC, I think, is the scarier conference right now. I think they just got way too many good teams. I mean, Seahawks, 49ers, Bucks. I still think the Saints are going to get better. I think they're better than what they've seen. They're having a very bad start to the year right now. But they'll come around. Dallas is confusing, but they might get it worked out. The Cardinals look okay, but I'm not sold on them at all. I think that's fool's gold to be getting on the Cardinals train. At the end of the day, they're still the Cardinals. Remember that. And, of course, the Packers. The Packers are freaking awesome. All right, so Seahawks at Dolphins. Do I even need to make a pick here? Are you kidding me? The best player in the league against the Dolphins. Yeah, moving on. Vikings at Texans. Could this game be more inconsequential? Could it be more of a snooze fest? Now, the Vikings and the Texans are basically the same team, are they not? This is the AFC version of them going against the NFC version of them. It's a team that looks good on paper, you think is supposed to be good, who seems to have their stuff together when they go out in the field, and then it just falls apart inexplicably somehow, and nobody can figure out why. Yeah. I'm going Houston. Houston with a game-winning field goal at the end. Saints at Lions. Okay, now I have heard that the Saints have a lot of people out. The Lions, however, are one of those teams that you can't count on to do shit. If you bet on them to suck or be terrible, they'll do the opposite. And if you bet on them to be good and actually do something, then they will crap all over you. That's who they are. That's what they do. They are going to get destroyed by New Orleans. Even with all of the starters out, the Saints are going to probably beat them pretty badly. I'll tell you this much. If they don't, all right, because this is Detroit. It's in a stadium. It's in a dome. This is the New Orleans Saints. This is who they are. They're a dome team. And if they can't beat the Lions in a dome, even if it is in Detroit, even if it is on the road, and I know that that gives them a disadvantage, but if they cannot beat them, the Saints are done. Okay? So I'll say that again for good measure. If the Saints cannot defeat the Lions tomorrow, they are done. They have lost. They have lost the NFC. They would have. That's just going to be crushing. To go 1-3. I mean, you can't do that. Not with the Bucs and the 49ers and the Seahawks and the Packers all sitting there getting better and better. No, it can't happen. Okay, here we go. We have a problem here. Browns at Cowboys. So, a part of me wants to pull for Dallas because of Israel. He's a big Cowboys fan. And Zach is a Cowboys fan. But then we've got Addy. And his Browns. Now, I could say that the Cowboys have had their chances over the years. They have been in a very, well, to put it nicely, a very interesting division, I should say, to the point where the division winner ended up always being the team who just tripped on a rock on the ground and fell ass backwards into a division title. That's basically been the NFC East for years now. But the Browns have a lot going against them. They're in a division with the Steelers, who look really good right now, by the way, and the Ravens, who we expect them to bounce back, especially the way they're built. They're a lot like the 49ers, in my opinion. They're built to last. They're very spread out in all areas. They're all pretty damn good in almost every area. Addy, I'm sorry, I don't think the Browns are going to win this. I just don't. I know the Browns are 2-1, Cowboys are 1-2, but I think Dallas is still a better team. So, I'm going Dallas on that. All right. The Gardner Minshews versus the Bengals. Oh, God, the Bengals. Kill me now. The Bengals suck so bad that they couldn't even win a game. They ended up having to tie. And that's not just an indictment on the Bengals. That's an indictment against the Eagles. But the Gardner Minshews are going to win this, baby. Jaguars at Bengals. Jaguars over Bengals. The stash is going to prevail. Cardinals at Panthers. Oh, God, this pains me to say this. I think the Cardinals are going to win. Giants at Rams. God, this is too easy. The Rams are going to destroy them. Bills at Raiders. The Raiders. Mickey, what do you think? Bills at Raiders. Who you got?
Raiders.
You got Raiders?
I don't know why.
Nefertiti is picking the Raiders. What makes you say that?
Well, I like the uniforms better.
Huh?
I like the uniforms. I'm kidding.
You like their uniform? Okay. Well, hey, that's as good of a reason as any, guys. I personally think it's the Bills, but I think the Bills are very I think they're a very volatile 3-0. All right? They're 3-0, yeah, but I think it's right on the edge of going either way. You know what? I'm changing it. I'm gonna go Raiders here. The Raiders. All right, so I'm gonna switch. I might regret this, but I'm gonna switch. And I'm gonna say the Raiders get this one. So Mickey, I'm going with you. All right.
Okay.
Colts at Bears. Ooh, look at this, guys. Interesting. Super Bowl 43 rematch. If only we had Peyton Manning out there and Devin Hester. It'd be a lot more interesting, wouldn't it? But we have Phillip Rivers against Big Dick Nick. And, by the way, let's see if he can ball out this entire year. Because, listen, if Nick Foles plays well, do you know how bad that's going to make Carson Wentz look? Carson Wentz is already having a tough year. But if Nick Foles goes on and makes the Bears better, my God. But I think the Colts are a good team, and I like them as well. Sorry, Lucas. I think your guys are going to lose this one. I think the Colts, I've got the Colts over Bears on this one. Okay. Sunday Night Football. Well, this should have been a good one. It should have been a nice matchup. But the Eagles can't seem to get out of their own way. They are the epitome of a one-hit wonder. And they became a one-hit wonder because they got rid of the guy who made it happen, Nick Foles. And now they're stuck with a guy whose last name is literally Wentz. Wentz. Wow. The 49ers have got this. I don't even care about their quarterback situation. It doesn't even matter at this point. I mean, we watched this team go all the way to the Super Bowl and Jimmy G threw like 4 passes. Okay? So, yeah. The 49ers are so awesome. I mean, I know that they've also lost a few other guys, but it doesn't seem to matter in this case. The 49ers have got this one easily. Monday Night Football.
Regarding the 49ers,
Mhm.
Raphael has a super chat about that.
Oh, thank you. Oh, because I'm looking at the schedule. I'm not looking at the screen. So, sorry about that, Raphael.
You just got it.
$5 super chat from Raphael. He says, in your opinion, did the Cardinals just play us better than any team? They're so inconsistent. Raphael, that is called the division familiarity effect. It was the same thing even back when the Cardinals were good and they had Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald and all those guys and Anquan Bolden. The 49ers during that time weren't very good at all. They were awful. In fact, they had the number 1 pick in 2005, and they picked Alex Smith, of course, but they had that number 1 pick because they were just that bad. And they were bad for a long time. They still gave the Cardinals issues. It was always a pain in the ass. And now that the 49ers are good, the Cardinals are still a pain in the ass the other direction. It's just, It's that division thing, and I know I did a few documentaries about it in the Brady Hate Saga talking about divisions, but it's just so true. That might be a boring answer, but division games are very bizarre. It's why the Dolphins were able to beat the Patriots in Week 17 last year and ruin their bye week. And then the Chiefs ended up getting that bye week and going to the Super Bowl off that. The Dolphins are garbage, and they still end up beating the Patriots. It's division, it's familiarity, it just changes everything. When you're playing a division rival, all bets are off. Everything you think you are as a team may not work against a division rival. So, I mean, I guess there are exceptions, like you could be so shitty that you could be the Cincinnati Bengals, and it doesn't really matter. But in this case, the Cardinals are actually pretty damn decent. And I think that the Cardinals are one of those teams that, you know how every year there's always these teams that kind of sneak up on you and they look pretty good, and you're like, well, they were pretty good last year, but now they look really awesome and everyone's excited about them. But then by like week 13, week 14, they just completely fall apart and suck ass. I think the Cardinals are that exactly. That's exactly what they are. But again, I have nothing against the Cardinals, of course. But yeah. And also, Raphael, it's about style matchups. So stylistically, it may not be a good matchup for you guys and for them. So I don't know how many of you guys watch tennis, but men's tennis is very similar to the NFL. And I know you're thinking, how? Well, in men's tennis, it's all about matchups, okay? You can be, let's say you could be number one in the world. You could be Novak Djokovic. And then you've got Rafael Nadal, who's number 2 in the world. Then you got Roger Federer, number 3, for example. All right, I don't know what the current rankings are, but I'm just saying, for example, you got all those guys, 1, 2, and 3. Well, even though Djokovic is number 1, he may struggle against Nadal. But then he might actually beat Federer. But then Federer struggles against Nadal, or Federer struggles against Djokovic and then ends up beating Nadal. It's just, well, in that case, Federer usually loses to Nadal. But the point is, it's a circle. And you can't go by, oh, he's number 1, so he should beat the number 2 guy. Tennis doesn't work like that. So the NFL is the closest thing to that concept that I can think of as far as a team sport. Because in hockey and baseball and basketball, especially, well, you know, not so much in hockey, but especially in basketball and baseball, if you've got a stacked team, you could really help your odds. And in the NBA, this is no more obvious than what we've seen the last few years with Golden State and any team that LeBron goes on and adds a bunch of superstars because he can't do it himself, right? So the NFL is a lot different than that. So the NFL, you could play the worst team, the 1 in 15 crap shit team from the year before, and you could lose. As the defending Super Bowl champions, you could lose. Or if you do win that game, you could win it by a field goal. And that's one reason why I resent college football fans who say that the best college football team could beat the worst NFL team. That is ridiculous. Okay, it's absolutely stupid. Because the NFL is just, it's all about matchups. So that leaves us to Monday night. Falcons at Packers. Oh my God. Okay. So the 0-3 Falcons, who should be 2-1. Well, you would think they would be. The 0-3 Falcons against the 3-0 Packers. Just watch, okay? The Falcons will do something crazy just to screw with everybody, okay? Because apparently they haven't done enough already to mess with people's heads. Watch them go into Green Bay, and the Packers get up like 25-0 on them, or 28-3, and then the Falcons decide that they want to come back and win the game. That would be the greatest thing that we've ever seen. I swear, that would be freaking awesome. But it's not going to happen. Although that I would love to see that. The Packers are going to destroy them. So that one's done. Trav Brunette, $2 super chat. He says, Legion of Boom splitting with garbage Rams. Thank you. That's exactly. It's division games. Very weird. Very weird. And if you're a Patriots fan, you know too well, all too well, about the Rex Ryan Jets, and you know all too well about the Dolphins in general, just anytime. So, but that's true. The Legion of Boom did lose a game to the Rams, and then wait. Now there was a year where the Seahawks lost to the Rams twice in the same season. I don't remember what year that was, but it was, I could swear that it was the Legion of Boom that did. Raphael sends another super chat. He's on fire tonight. He says, I believe it. Kurt Warner is a legend, by the way. Respect to him, even though he played against us, and I know you like him a lot. Yeah, I love Kurt, man. Kurt's awesome. He's a great guy. Everything that you know about Kurt Warner and what people say about him is true. He absolutely is like that in real life. Not only did I get to hang out with him, but my brother also worked out with him. And completely separate, had nothing to do with us together, just coincidental. But he's the same every time. Every time. He's just as nice as you can imagine. So it's not fake, basically. I know there's some players who have this persona that everyone thinks they're a great person. Like, remember the absolute just fellatio that was being used on Peyton Manning by the media. Oh, he's a stand-up guy. He's a great teammate and all this stuff. And then over the years, we kind of found out that he's not as of a great guy as you think he is. Always, he's not as nice a guy as you think he is. So, but with Kurt, it's real. It's legit. So, by the way, Raphael, I don't know if you know this, but after the Super Bowl run for the Cardinals in 2008, Kurt Warner needed a new contract, and he actually flew to San Francisco, and the 49ers made him an offer. So, in 2009, your team came this close to having Kurt Warner as your quarterback. And the Cardinals made a better offer, or an equal offer, and of course, Kurt, it's like, why move your family? Why change teams and start over if it's the same or similar, money? So he stayed. But you guys did take a shot at him. I don't know if you knew that or not. But by the way, not just Kurt, Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman visited the 49ers years ago when his contract was up. So another super chat from Raphael. He says, damn, Raphael. Thank you, man. And he says, after the Super Bowl, they lost, I think. They got swept. I can't remember the Cardinals 2009 if they lost to the 49ers or not, but they did make it to the divisional round. I don't know So for you guys remember this or not, but it was 2009. The Cardinals played the Green Bay Packers, and it was Aaron Rodgers' first playoff game. And the game was crazy. It was in the 40s. Both teams were in the 40s. And then the game finally ended with Carlos Dansby getting an interception off. Well, Aaron Rodgers got hit and the ball flew up in the air, and Carlos Dansby grabbed the ball and then ran it in for a touchdown in overtime, and that ended it. But that was a great game. Unfortunately for Kurt, the next week in the divisional round, he goes and plays the Saints. And that was the Bounty Gate era. And that was the Saints team that went on to win the Super Bowl that year. And they hit Kurt Warner quite a bit. Knocked him around pretty damn good, actually. But I've watched that game over and over, and I don't see any illegal hits on Kurt from the Bounty Gate team. But I did see them do that to Brett Favre next week in Minnesota, against Minnesota. But as far as Kurt, they took a shot on him that they shouldn't have. But it's football. But yeah, and that year that could have been Kurt Warner playing for the 49ers, man. So came real close. Thank you, man. Thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate it. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Cardinals got beat up by the Saints really good, and yeah, that was rough. That was brutal. But that was a pretty damn good Cardinals team, though. They had so many good players. All right. Hey Mickey, what do you think? We open the lines and let someone call if they want?
If somebody does, yeah, that's okay.
Okay. I'll open up Skype if anybody wants to call and ask a question or a comment. The line is open now. So just search Von Allen Sports on Skype if you've never done it before. Oh, I like that. See it twice. The Eagles have quarterbacks called Wentz and Hurts. I know, right? Who will they draft next? Mac back spasms. I like that. Yeah. Luke, exactly. His name was Tim Hightower. Yep. The first Hightower. Before Dante. So. Oh. Uh-oh, guys. Okay. Now, longtime Von Allen sports fans are going to be like rolling their eyes right now. Oh, God. Now Aaron's going to talk about Anquan Bolden. Okay. So, let's see. Ravens. Ray Lewis says one of our own players, Anquan Bolden, played for the Cardinals at the beginning of his career. That is absolutely true. In fact, you guys ready to hear this? Take it from me. Anquan Bolden was the better player when he played for the Cardinals than Larry Fitzgerald. He was a better all-around player. Yes, you might be able to look at stats and stuff and say, oh, well, it looks like Larry had more of this. I don't even know if that's the case, but I just know I was around for that. I watched everything and kept up with everything about that team. Luke says, I knew this was coming. So there's certain names you can't throw out there without me getting triggered, right? All right, so Anquan Bolden's one of them. But he was the best player on the team then. Okay. And I would have picked him over Larry Fitzgerald any day of the week. But yeah, he left there. He went to Ravens. He got a Super Bowl ring. Which, by the way, that was a really good Super Bowl, too. That Ravens 49ers Super Bowl. That was the infamous Saints stadium, the Mercedes-Benz Dome, where the lights went out. And all of a sudden, everything changed. But that was a very entertaining Super Bowl. But I was glad to see Bolden get a ring. But then the next year, I remember thinking it'd be kind of cool if he had gotten a ring with the 49ers. And then he'd have two. So, Anquan Bolden gave me a pair of Jordans one time. Red. They had red velvet on the side of them. They're very, very cool shoes. And I had just organized some things in the area, and he had a bunch of boxes of shoes and stuff. And I was like, "You want some?" I was like, "Really?" Okay. Really nice dude. Daniel says, "All aboard the Bolden bandwagon." Here we go. I don't disrespect Fitzgerald. He disrespects himself, okay? Listen. You just don't know, okay? You just don't know. It's when you have good media coverage, okay? When you have the media licking your ass every week, it develops this kind of image for people. It's like the thing with Peyton Manning. It's the same thing. We found out really what Peyton. I mean, I like Peyton, but he wasn't as godlike as they tried to make him sound. Larry wasn't either. I can't speak to how he is now, but back then he was not. He was very arrogant. Him and Kurt Warner would get in arguments. He actually said one time and told Kurt that I'm good enough because Kurt was yelling at him. Anquan Bolden was a hard worker and outworking him, and Anquan never thought that he was good enough, and he kept working hard, and that's what Kurt wanted to see. Kurt was a lot like Tom, in that sense. So let's see. I think we got a caller. Hello?
Hey.
Oh, turn your mic down a little bit.
Oops. How's this?
Okay, much better. All right. Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, how about you?
You're a bit trigger happy on the super chat tonight.
Oh yeah, just came to show my support because you're the man.
Where you at? Where you at again?
I'm at home right now.
Where?
California?
Where?
I'm from California.
Oh, I know that, but what town? You're in a small town, right?
Small town, Milpitas.
Milpitas. Okay, yeah. I
Milpitas.
couldn't remember what it was called.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna talk very long, but I actually, you know what? We have a game coming up, the 25th.
Yeah.
Our teams. How about a friendly bet? Here's my no. Hear me out. Friendly bet. If we beat you guys, you have to wear anything Jets, like a hat or something cheap or a shirt. If you beat us, I'll give $100 super chat. I've had this idea coming into the show for a while. I hear Milena.
What are you laughing about? Okay, now I'm getting laughed at by Milena. Okay, I'm sure she's picturing in her head what this might look like. Me wearing
the cheapest merchandise, a hat or a shirt. You don't buy it. And if you win, you guys are better than us right now. We're so injured, but yeah. So I'll give $100 for the super chat. Man to man.
What do you guys think? Oh,
I can't
God.
see the chat right now.
Ugh.
I can't see the chat. I could see the chat right now.
But, dude, so many things are uncertain right now. I guess that's probably why you want to make the bet. But
Yes. We're 2-1. You guys are 2-1. Who knows what the record? It'll be in the 25th. How many days from now? In a few weeks.
I think it's week 7 or week 8.
Yeah. Wow. So you don't have to decide tonight, Aaron, but just thought
I'll tell you
that
what.
out there.
I'll give you an answer tomorrow during the postgame show. And if you can't make the postgame show, you can watch the recording of it. But either way, I'll give you an answer.
Awesome. Yeah. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that on. I didn't mean to embarrass you on your show. I just, I figured.
Oh no! It's hilarious. I like it. Yeah, week 7.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
But it's in New England, just to let you know. So.
Yeah. So you have a better.
That West Coast, going from West Coast to East Coast, rarely does well for West Coast teams. So I've got that in my.
Yeah.
So.
But either way, I'm gonna show support to my favorite show. But yeah. Those are my terms. I wish I could see the chat right now. Oh my gosh, I wish I could see the chat.
Luke says any self-deprecating Jets gear. Well, that would just be anything that says Jets on it. So.
Yeah. I don't want you to spend money like on a jersey. It could be a hat, like a cheap hat or a cheap shirt. I don't know. Do they sell like armbands or?
I'll let you know tomorrow night. Let me think about it.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. If I'm seen wearing something of the Jets, I might lose my channel overnight. So.
Just on the it'll be like, I don't know what the terms are. Maybe like the next show or whatever. You don't gotta wear it all show, but Cheers, bro.
Well, if I'm absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll be back in America by then. So.
Awesome.
If I'm not, and let's say if I end up taking the deal and I have to wear something Jets, I wouldn't be able to get it in Bulgaria. So I wouldn't be able to get it till I get to America. But I should be back by then anyway. But I'll have an answer for you tomorrow night. How about that?
Awesome. Yeah, perfect.
All right.
I love it. Yeah. Anyway, I just called just for that. Thank you for the knowledge as always. The show's great.
Thanks, man.
It's good to have insight of football. I've been so hyped up because it's been a shit year. I've been so hyped up for football.
I know.
These college games aren't.
I've not watched. I don't. As you guys know, I don't watch college football. But the only thing I watch of college is when I'm looking at the draft, and I go back and look at draft picks. But as far as while college is happening, I don't watch it. I just forget that it exists, to be quite honest. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, I'm not going to be on long. I'm just going to be on and off because I have another thing to do right now. But Aaron, good luck to you guys tomorrow. I'll still be on the chat in and out. But yeah, thanks for having me, bro.
Thanks for calling, man. Thanks for all your super chats, and I really appreciate it. So I'll give you your answer tomorrow night. All right.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
He's a cool dude. As you guys know, Raphael's a very, very huge 49ers fan. And God, that Super Bowl, they should have had the Chiefs. They had them. And I was pulling for the 49ers in that one. Normally I go AFC, but in that game I wanted Jimmy to win. I wanted Jimmy G to get a ring. And I knew if they lost that people were going to shit all over Jimmy, and I didn't want to see that happen. So And that's exactly what happened. Everyone blaming him because of one throw. One throw. But it wasn't Jimmy that let the Chiefs score either. So, I mean, it didn't help the situation, but yeah. But I think if you're a Patriots fan, you're so used to Tom doing crazy things and expecting him to always do the right thing that when it doesn't happen, when you're watching other teams, you're just like, it's like, damn, but yeah, some random Patriots fan says, why the heck did they even call that play? They needed 10 yards, not 50. Even if they did score, they have Patrick Mahomes plenty of time to respond. Who knows? What I find weird about that Super Bowl is they kind of went away a little bit from what they were doing. And there didn't seem to be a reason to try to have Jimmy outplay Mahomes. That doesn't seem to be something that needed to happen. The whole point was to keep Mahomes off the field. So I would have been going for a sure thing, high percentage plays, very, very high percentage plays. If you do want to throw the ball, safe, very safe throws that get you 3 or 4 yards here and there, and then ultimately just first down after first down. But I guess we can second guess it all day long, but that is now the second time that Kyle Shanahan has had a Super Bowl collapse happen with him involved. So, although the Falcons can't be blamed on him, that falls on the head coach. But yeah, he can't be happy. Let's see. It looks like we have a new user with some really cute kids. Yaml M. Patriots game is not going to be tomorrow. Yeah. And do you know what happened to Cam Newton? Yes, he tested positive for COVID. Luke R says, VAS, you have some nice supporters. I know, man. All you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. It's like we have like a family here. Yeah, this week, I know tonight I'm not as energetic as I normally am, but it's just, this week sucks. This week absolutely sucks. Terrible. We are a cult, yeah. Oh, there's Go. Sucks, man. The Titans, now the Pats, combined with all the injuries. The 49ers pretty much are done due to injury, as well as the Broncos. Yep. Have any of you heard of Master at Work, fake troll pets? Yes. I once did a interview for his channel or somebody else's channel. I can't remember. One time, but that was it. That was a while back. Yeah, Trav. Have I noticed a difference in Bill? You said, I told you in the offseason losing Tom leaves him free. I'll be quite honest with you. I don't like it. I don't particularly like how all of a sudden Tom's gone and now Belichick is doing commercials and smiling at press conferences and laughing with the journalist and letting Cam Newton, act like an idiot and during practice or whatever. I just, because Tom wasn't able to do those things. He wasn't able to do certain interviews that he would normally want to do. He wasn't able to express his emotion. He wasn't even able to say what he really thought about Deflategate. And he kept that inside. When he would have wanted to really tell the truth of what he felt. And if Deflategate had happened right now with the Bucs, Tom would have handled it much differently. He would have fought back more. He would have probably said what he really felt. But Belichick was always about, being, not giving much up, not being very emotional about anything. And Tom led the way for him to do that, because if Tom doesn't buy in, then the rest of the team doesn't buy in. And Tom kept to that no matter what, even when he wanted to even when Belichick blew off his injury and made that smartest comment. Again, Tom still didn't say anything. The moment that Tom left the Patriots, then he's doing Howard Stern, and then he's playing some golf pro-am thing or whatever it was with Peyton Manning. And Tom is in more commercials now. He does a lot more interviews. He's a lot more honest and animated on social media. It's just, we're seeing a different Brady. Well, we're seeing Tom Brady now, how he really is. But I don't particularly like the big change in Bill that I've seen right now. Now, if it was a gradual thing, that's fine. But it's like, now Brady's gone, I'm going to do everything differently all of a sudden. It's just kind of weird. So it could be, now I'm not saying it is, but it could be kind of like Tom Coughlin with the Giants. Do you guys remember 2005, 2006-ish? Tom Coughlin was having trouble with the Giants players, and they were kind of getting sick of his shit, and Coughlin started to loosen up. He was told by his daughter to loosen up. His daughter at the time was dating a player on the Giants, so she had information coming from how the players felt. But they told Tom Coughlin, and Coughlin started loosening up, and then next thing you know, they're in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Maybe Bill is doing that. Maybe now that Tom's gone, he realized, I've got to change my approach. Cam Newton being there, that might have something to do with it too. Of course, we know that he praises Cam way more than he ever did for Tom. But that could be by design. So, as where Cam may need that support more than Tom ever did. So, could be that too. Hey, Travis, what's up?
What's up, man? Hey.
Yeah.
Tom was a psycho. And in the 100 greatest players, Chris Collinsworth brings up a production meeting with Bill from 2011, where Bill's telling Chris Collinsworth in a production meeting behind closed doors that he's the toughest guy in the world to coach, because on Monday morning, when you're rubbing the dust out of your eyes and coming into work, this guy's more prepared, done more film than anybody.
Yeah.
So for 20 years, we were talking about it last year. I know you remember when I was on with you. Like, for 20 years, you have this psycho monster that has to be fed, that has to be poked. And
Yeah.
Bill, being a good coach, understanding what you have to do, just kept poking the bear, knowing that, like, if I rest on my laurels, he's going to turn on me.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Tom is like a robot, a machine, and he won't stop. The dude goes to bed at 8 o'clock at night. 8 o'clock at night. That's insane. So he can be the first one there. I mean, I've heard you. I think. Do you remember a story that Julian Edelman told about Bill and Tom? And he says when he got there in the mornings, he thought he got there early, and he never could beat them. And he, no matter how hard he tried, like he could not beat Bill or Tom to the facility. Imagine when you get drafted to the Patriots, or you're traded there, or you sign as a free agent, and you're used to every other team you've been on, your star quarterback shows up kind of like when he wants and leaves, kind of not when he wants, but he gets some more leeway. And then you get there thinking you're going to be badass. I'm going to impress Coach Belichick. I'm going to get there at 6 a.m. And then you walk in and Tom says, "Hey, man, did you sleep in?" Tom actually has said that before. Like, I can't remember which player it was, but he said when he first got there, he was trying to impress Coach. I think it might have been Rodney Harrison. And Tom was giving him crap because Tom was like, "Dude, why are you so late?" And yet no one was there, but Tom had already done his pre-workout and everything. Crazy. Crazy.
An animal. He's an animal. And this, for now, finally, Bill has the opportunity to just let his hair down. Like he was telling Chris Collinsworth, some players are here, some players are there. That you're doing pre-algebra and algebra, and you got guys that have been in the league for a while that are up there, we're doing a little bit of trigonometry or, calculus and stuff like that. And then you got coming in who's basically got a master's degree at MIT talking about rocket ships.
Mm-hmm.
It totally, now Bill could come in and just go through the motions and go back to running the fundamentals and preaching fundamentals and, kind of a chance to actually just coach, you know what I mean? Everything had to be so perfect. He had to have it so calculated. He had to have it so put together. He had to be so prepared, not
right.
just to coach everybody, team in position to win, but also to handle the questions from this guy that, as any Patriot knows that's watched any footage of the guy, he asks all the questions.
Right. Well, there may be something to that as far as you coach. Now, I have heard Belichick say that each quarterback is different, and you coach, or each player is different, how you coach and approach them differently. With Cam Newton, Cam is coming off of a hard last few years, difficult last few years, right? In Carolina, at least for what he was expecting of himself. And mentally, maybe Cam needs that pick-me-up. And he's one of those type that need that. As where Tom is one of those type that if you don't, like you said, keep poking at him, you've got to make him always want to work harder and go farther and farther. Tom is one of those type that you can't mess him up mentally. But Cam is one of those type that maybe you need to encourage. And that could explain a lot of that. But Shaq says, Belichick has praised Brady numerous times. I don't get why people say he rarely has. Shaq, I'd have to say, man, over a 20-year span, it's rare, okay? Compared to any other coach and quarterback for being together for over a decade, it's very rare that he compliments him compared to the 20-year span that there should have been. He's complimented Cam more so just this year already than probably he did for Brady in a 10-year span. So
Hold on. Vaughn, come on now. He used to say all the time, there's no other player I'd rather have. There's no other quarterback I'd rather have. But I mean, he threw it in. I mean, of course he loves Tom. He got to keep renaming the boat every year. You can't not love the guy. But I want to ask you, do you think Cam Newton's contract and the money situation has something to do with it as well? Because if you were paying a guy his due worth, you kind of feel like you can treat him however, you know what I mean? But with the contract situation and the way the money worked out, now him becoming starter, do you think that plays a role in their relationship because he's got starting duties while he's at less than 90% of backups pay?
If it does, I don't think it has a whole lot to do with it. I think Cam is very fragile-minded. I think he's very weak-minded, and there's no reason to think that hasn't changed, especially with him taking a hit to his ego for having to sign for $1.5 million. So I think it's the person. If Brady was signed for that much, I don't think you would have to treat him any differently. So I think it's about the person. But even when Belichick had complimented Tom in that sense, for a 20-year span compared to what Tom has done for that organization, it was rare in that sense, and that's what I'm referring to. Compared to every other coach, what is normal. But I will also say that Tom didn't need that. He didn't need that affection. He didn't need that because they always went with the ideology that if Tom doesn't get complimented all the time, then how can lesser players expect that? And that should make them work harder or feel like they have to work hard too and they're not special. And so that was as much a strategy as anything else. But Cam is different. So, yeah.
No purple hero cookies given out, you know? That's what we call it where I'm from. You don't get no purple hero cookies for doing your job. And if if Tom didn't get it, then obviously, if you're second, third string, backup, whatever, a good block or picking up your assignment or something like that, it leaves Bill free to not be a rah, pat you on the back, all the time, show love guy.
Right.
And then I think him being the GM as well, I think that's a calculated move because he's the same guy that, has to sit at the desk with.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in real life, in private, Brady is Belichick's guy. I mean, that in private, I think he loves him like a son or almost like a son. I think that's how he sees Tom. And I saw that a lot during that interview that you were referring to, that top 100 players. Bill was looking at Tom like he was looking at his own son talking. I mean, that look in his eye, I really believe that. And but as far as, the original question was why is Bill acting a little differently now that Tom's gone? And that's really the only thing I can think of is it's strategic. It's based off of each different players and what he can do and what he can get away with. So Bill doesn't do anything by chance. I know that. Everything is thought through, everything he does. So, but Cam is a different quarterback than Tom, completely different in every way. And even mentally, they're different. They have to be approached separately. You can't expect to coach Cam Newton the way you coached Brady. It's not going to work.
I agree. I'm gonna get off here. Let someone else get on with you, bud. I'm gonna be watching.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your super chats, Travis. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Much love.
All right. Talk to you soon, man. Bye. But yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because Brady didn't leave the Patriots because of Bill, and I just don't believe that. And until Tom says that, unless Tom says that, I don't believe it. I think it was Robert Kraft, and I think not just Robert Kraft though. I think, to be quite honest, I think a big part of him leaving was just he wanted. It was either go to the Bucs or retire, I think is what he was thinking. So I think him being on the Bucs is actually a retirement plan. It's having fun at the end. He's having a good time. He wanted to sling the ball around to a bunch of weapons, see what he could come up with. Maybe if he could get to a Super Bowl, of course he wants that. But I don't think he wanted to stay in New England another year just to get bounced out in the first round like last year, because he knew not much was going to be changing. So keep in mind also, keeping Tom would have meant $25 million against the cap. So, or if he had decided to stay, maybe it's $20 million. That's still a lot. Based off of our salary cap situation, this is pre-COVID. Of course, nobody knew that this was going to happen. So, but pre-COVID, there was no money. And so getting rid of Tom, or keeping Tom, would have meant making the team even worse than it is now. Worse than it was last year. And we saw what happened last year. So it's just what it had to be. And now we got two teams to root for, or one team to root for, and then we can root for Tom. So each week I'm getting more and more okay with it. Like, I'm getting used to it now. But at the same time, I was watching Cam's development, and now that's been interrupted. So it really sucks. Very disappointing. And until I've seen otherwise, until I've been proven otherwise, I think Cam's mindset and his ego can be altered very easily. And hopefully this doesn't mess with his head too much. So yeah, Luke, exactly. Luke R says maybe he wanted a change of pace and scenery, looking at it as a schism or betrayal. It's stupid. They always come up with, who he would be mad at, and they always talk about Belichick. And I've always said, and you guys know I've always said, if it was somebody in New England, if that was the case, it would be Kraft more than it would be Bill. But I don't know. I really think that he was thinking about either retirement or going somewhere to throw the ball around and have some fun. I think he went to Florida, guys. Come on. He went to Florida. I mean, he's living it up, man. He's having a good time. He's relaxing a bit. Good for him. Daniel says, our running game is so effective right now because our quarterback is such a huge threat to run. Yep. Meaning the defense has to guess more. Without Cam, they know who's running. Exactly. And that was going to be the threat to the Chiefs. That was going to be the game plan against the Chiefs. To be quite honest with you guys, the game getting delayed later on in the season would be better for the Pats. Trying to have this game on Tuesday. Yeah, and unless Patrick Mahomes is sick, I think we're better off later. Because think about it. If it's delayed later on in the season, that's even more time that Cam has had on the team. Even more time to get back into the swing of things and come back from this situation even faster. So, and I think that's cool. It's too bad, that the game wasn't scheduled already for later on in the year when both teams are at their absolute best. So Florida has no state tax. That's absolutely true, and we found that out because a lot of us are looking to move there or possibly move there. So, yep. That's a good question, Jalen. If Tom is there, does the defense opt out? I don't know. That's a very good question. There were no opt-outs on the Buccaneers. I've wondered that too. I wondered that too. If would those guys reconsider if Tom was still there, or if it made it easier. You know, at the time, maybe it made it easier for them to make the decision because Tom wasn't there. Brian Hoyer, he's one of those guys that looks like I bet when he was a teenager, he looked like he was a 40-year-old man. I remember he started losing his hair. He already looked like he was losing his hair his rookie year. So, bald out, exactly. Imagine if the Patriots beat the Chiefs with Brian Hoyer. That would be crazy. Oh, it'd be crazy. And you know what would be even better? It's the hit to the Chiefs' ego. Could you imagine? God, they are so arrogant right now. Could you imagine them losing to Brian Hoyer? Oh, man, that would be awesome. Alrighty, guys. I think I'm going to wrap up the show now. Thank you so much for joining and all you guys' support tonight. Like I said before, it's been a weird week. So we just got to roll with it and see what happens. I think everything will be fine. These are professional athletes. They are all in great shape and everything. They're going to be fine. Cam's going to be fine. It's all good. So we'll see you tomorrow night for the post-game show. Let's effing go. All right, guys. Have a good night.